welcome back to my video. So today's video, I'm always talking about the African Shea mix that I use on my hair, compliments of Natural 85. I got this idea from her. So I'm going to show you what I put in my mix, which looks like that. Don't mind if you see some hairs in here, I just did my hair last night. So when I do my African Shea mix, I'm going to show you how I do it in the next clip. But because oils can be expensive, I ration it by the size of the container and how much it costs. For example, one of the oils I use is coconut oil, and I will spend like $10 for like a 16 ounce. So if I spend that much money, I want it to last at least a month. I want my money to stretch. So for the African Shea, you can use the color yellow. They also have the color white, so it's always the same. If you don't want to see any yellow streaks in your hair, if you use too much, then you can use white, but I like to use yellow because it seems more creamier than the white. So I'll use the African Shea. Olive oil, I'll probably use like a cup and a half of that. For my coconut oil, I use about half a cup. Almond oil, I'll use about a tablespoon, or probably like 2 tablespoons, because it's a small container and that costs about $7 at Whole Foods. So yeah, and then I would use castor oil. I'll probably use like 1/4 a cup of castor oil for my mix, and I think that's it. Olive oil, coconut oil, castor oil, grapeseed oil. I knew I forgot one. For grapeseed oil, I'll use about half a cup of that one because I can get a lot in that container. I can pay about $5 for another 16 ounce at the store, so my money was stretched thin. So I will mix all these together, and I'm going to show you how I do it in the next clip, so stay tuned. Okay, so let's get started. So I have my African Shea, my spatula, my butter knife, a big bowl. Looks like a cake bowl if you want to use one. My blender, coconut oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil, castor oil, almond oil, and I only have a little bit left, so I'm going to stretch it. And an empty container. I usually use an old African Shea container. So now I am going to scoop out the African Shea into the bowl. I will scoop out just about probably like a full cup and a half. Mind you, I'm using my own measurements because I'm so used to doing this. I've been doing it for years, so I'm not using actual cups for measurements. But if you need a measurement, you can use like 1.5 cups to 2 cups. Now I know there's an easy way to do this. I know I can use another tool to get out the African Shea. I also know that I can try melting the African Shea a little bit, but I don't want to do that. Sometimes I don't want to make everything too easy to do. I like doing things with my hands, and if I'm used to doing a specific routine, I just like doing it that way. It doesn't bother me to do it this way. I just like it. But if you want to do it easier, you can take out, you can put some of it in the microwave and put it on heat for probably like 20 to 30 seconds to get a little bit softer, and scoop it out with a big spoon or an ice cream scooper. So now I'm going to add my oils. There's the castor oil. I put the measurements in the clip before this, so if you need to know how much to put in there, just rewind it back to the beginning and it will show you there. Again, I'm using my own measurements in my head because I'm so used to doing this, I don't need cups. For the coconut oil, I like to use my finger because I just love that smell, and whatever I have left on my finger, I just rub it on my arms and my hands and just keep it moving. Olive oil. I try to put a little bit more olive oil than all the other oils because I have so much of it. And I also try to put a good amount of coconut oil in there because coconut oil is really good for my hair. My hair loves it. Now if you're coconut oil sensitive, then don't use that at all. So I'm going to use the blender, and I'm going to start at the 1 setting. I put it all the way in there because it splashes a lot, which is why you want to get a nice deep bowl. You don't want to get a shallow bowl because it splashes everywhere, and if you get a shallow bowl, you have mess all over your kitchen, on the walls, on the counters. But if you get a nice deep bowl, all the mess will stay inside. So I'm going to start on the 1st setting, and then I will work my way up to 2, 3, 4, and finally 5. I normally mix this for about 5 to 10 minutes. I know when it's completely done when I keep seeing the mixture get fluffier and fluffier. When it gets really fluffy and creamy, that's the look you're looking for. And also it gets lighter. It's not as deep yellow as the regular shade, but because you're mixing the oils in there, and the more you blend it, the more you mix it up, it gets fluffier, so you can see the fluffy. And I also test the consistency. So if it's too thick, just put a little bit more of oil in there of your choosing. If it's too thin, then put a little bit more of African Shea. You want a nice consistency where it's not too runny and it's not too thick. So that small container is for my kids. So I put a scoop in there with the African Shea using the cake spatula. I like using the cake spatula because it's so easy to scoop up everything. And look, nice and creamy. That will last them a while. Then I use my container, well, mine's in my husband's container, and I just scoop the rest of it in there. Now this mixture will last us a month. And that's another reason why I love this mixture so much, is because it's cost effective. You don't have to worry about spending too much money on buying a hair moisturizer because you can make it yourself and it will last a long time. The only time you have to spend more than enough is buying the oils, but I buy oils probably once every 4 or 6 months. I don't buy it that often because I let it stretch out. So now that I have all my African Shea in there, and you see that this cake spatula is scraping the bowl, which is awesome, this is how I make my African Shea mix, which I've been using for years. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.